Hello and welcome to Daytona. It's finally time for the first points race of the season, and it's the NRSL Reebok Truck Series that will do it. As starting here today, we saw qualifying yesterday, and on the front row we have Oriole Pollard and Tim Greenwich. John Irvin, Trevor Germain make up row number 2. The top 4 all rookies. Amanda Shelley and Ashley LaPlante in row 3, with Preston Plord, Charles Jackson row 4, and Jay Stelling, Chris Washer in row 5. Here's the rest of the starting grid.
Drivers, start your engines!
And on the final row, because he changed an engine, you have Alex Perkle and Steve Pollard there. Now, as the field gets rolling, we will be carrying some onboards here today. Oh, someone's broken down already. I think. There's a huge gap. Chris Washer! Chris Washer has blown up. They haven't taken the lights off the pace car, but that is causing some damage to some trucks. And I guess it's a bad time to mention that one of our onboards was Chris Washer in the Coma Unwind Dodge. Another one of our onboards was Dylan Young, the Bass Pro Shops onboard. Alan Cavagnaro, the Chevy onboard was carried by Dylan Young. The Ford onboard carried by Alan Cavagnaro. The Reebok onboard carried by Seth Cole, our defending champion. The Toyota onboard by Charles Jackson. The Best Buy onboard will be carried by Kyle Collins. The Red Bull onboard was going to be carried by Alex Perkle tonight. And the Napa onboard with Jeff James. Now the interesting part is, does anyone have damage from that? And if so, how much? We're going to watch that as they get the green flag. There were some drivers who got involved. As the pace car pulls off, field under control of Tim Greenwich. And the NRSL Reebok Truck Series season is green! Already 3 wide in the back with, that's Paul Swanson, Seth Cole. That's Greg Jones that's holding him up. Not sure if it's damage on the 6 truck, but he is holding up the field. Anyone that was on that inside line pretty much getting held up there. As Chris Washer going to come down, he will actually take the green flag. So that's good news, but Chris Washer's night over before it really began. Valve problem going wrong on that truck as Oriole Pollard leads the field off turn 4. Coming to the line, he will lead lap 1 of the Reebok Truck Series season. They are 4 wide and around goes Dylan Thoreau. Henry Powers involved. Jeff James is around. Mason Neal. Field scattering. Binky Louvier gonna stop it. Oh my gosh. We're only 2 laps in and the season's already been hectic. John Irvin to the lead. Here comes Charles Jackson in the 54. 3 wide for 3rd. Jay Stella gets put into the middle by, I believe that was, yes, Eric Powers in the 62. Preston Plord got through it. You see Matt Dixon back there. Stephen Paul III. Katon Nakagawa, I think, got through it. Charles Jackson leads underneath the first yellow flag of the season. Oh my God, look out, Ashley LaPlante. Oh my gosh, what on earth was happening there? As I think Greg Jones has taken his car to pit road and actually gotten repairs done on that car. 3 laps in and it's already been a crazy season. But we have some interesting things to look. Oh my gosh, they're stacking up back here? Okay, Henry Powers has been put on his roof. Okay. I'm confused. Sam Young's got damaged, the 84, the Season 2 Daytona 500 winner. Not going to be a good start to his rookie season. But let's go ahead and take a look at what happened to get this wreck actually started. And we're back. This was coming to complete lap 1. You see Henry Powers in the 33 starts making contact with the 29, gets underneath the 11, and then Dylan Thoreau comes down the track trying to fill in the hole almost. Or no, it looks like actually Henry Powers and Matt Dixon kind of shove out the track. Take a separate camera angle at this. As then the field just starts trying to spread out, getting around this. Sam Young gets involved there. There's Mason Neal. There's Jeff James around. Trying to see if anyone else gets involved back here. No, I don't think any of them did. So, oh. Well, never mind. I thought there was something back there. But, Jeff James goes down to the apron to avoid all this. And then as he's coming back up, Austin LaPlante goes down to the apron and they make contact. Perkle sliding through the grass. I mean, this does not look good right there. And I'm wondering, yeah, Greg Jones did get back down there. I'm trying to think now, what else did we have to look at? Well, they stacked up underneath the caution, but I'm not going to take a huge look at that. Caution out, though, on lap 2 after an amazing start. Charles Jackson is your leader. Actually, let's take some onboards, though, as the wreck as well, before we do that. Onboard Jeff James. You see, he gets through and then just gets turned. No way he could have known. But gets it straightened out and starts going again. Seth Cole had a good line of sight for this one as well. Oh man, the defending champion already getting off to an interesting start, having to avoid a wreck. And we are back. Drivers out of the race are as follows: Dylan Young, Binky Louvier, Zach Kreller, Sam Young, Henry Powers, and Dylan Thoreau. The 97 is actually still on pit road. It looks like 2 laps down. And then you have Greg Jones 1 lap down. Charles Jackson is the leader. Then it's Eric Powers, Jay Stella, Kyle Collins, Amanda Shelley, Ashley LaPlante, John Irvin, Trevor Germain, Oriel Pollard, Tim Greenwich, William Duncan, Matt Dixon, Stephen Paul III, Kato Nakagawa, Max Newworth, Jonathan Zorline, Austin LaPlante, Kyle Matthews, Paul Swanson, and Jessica Shelton, the top 20. Then it's Seth Cole, Chris Louvier, Steve Pollard, Jake Baskinger, Alex Perkle, Mason Powers, James Shelley, Hiroshi Kazuyoshi, Jeff James, Preston Plord, Mason Neal, Sky Commons, and Alan Cavagnaro, the lead lap trucks. You see Tom Shelley has returned to the racetrack, so that's a good sight. But we're only going to be 6 laps in, and we're already down to just 35 runners in this race. Some of those just getting taken out due to the stack up underneath the caution. So we'll see the pace truck pull off, leaving the field under control of the mayonnaise man, Charles Jackson, out in front of the field for the Nuka-Cola Quantum 200. And we are back to racing at Daytona. Jackson clears the lap traffic pretty easily. Oh, and now they're going to get held up behind them back here. The 77, 61, pretty much the entire inside line. Only the top 5 get away from the lap traffic. John Irvin trying to take it to the outside to get around them. Kyle Collins, Ashley LaPlante making moves up here. Jake Davis to the inside of Greg Jones here. And Jermaine actually follows Davis underneath. They're going to be 4 wide. Oh no, there goes Matt Dixon around. Stephen Pollard the third. Oriole Pollard. Huge wreck at Daytona. The champion is in it. Jackson leads. Steve Pollard, Max Newworth, Mason Neal, James Shelley. Looks like Cavagnaro's in another one. Kyle Matthews, Tim Greenwich, our pole sitter. Oriole Pollard, Jeff James looks like in another one. Jake Baskinger, Greg Jones, Alex Perkle. Boy, this is totally unlike what we saw last season. Sky Commons with heavy damage to 17. Oh, and they're stacking up again, it looks like. Okay. Not as bad, it looks like. But man, what a difference a year makes, doesn't it? Looks like though another wreck starting. This one started with a 4 wide again, it looked like. I saw Kato Nakagawa get into Matt Dixon. Let's take a look at what happened. Well, I figured out why they were 4 wide in turn 3. Watch the 72 gets into the 29, pushes them up the track, and then when the 29 tries to get back to the bottom, Kato Nakagawa is in that hole. So, and then Dixon just comes up the track, and there's nowhere for these guys to go. Back down the track for Newworth. Oh my god! Oh, Steve Pollard nearly gets through this. Man, so we're going to have some onboards to take here, definitely. A lot of them I saw in the near vicinity of this. Onboard, Alex Perkle. As he actually does get through this. Seth Cole not as lucky to get through this one. As I just noticed all 3 Pollards actually get involved in this wreck. And our final onboard will be with Alan Cavagnaro. Boy, I don't know. Maybe the damages couldn't get slowed up in time, but with that, let's go back to the restart. So with 10 laps to go, they've gotten the 1 to go signal. And drivers out of the race now after that incident. Max Newworth, Alan Cavagnaro, Alex Perkle, Hiroshi Kazuyoshi, Chris Louvier, Greg Jones, Oriole Pollard, and Sky Commons. Tom Shelley still on the track 2 laps down. Charles Jackson is still the leader. Then it's Eric Powers, Kyle Collins, Ashley LaPlante, Jay Stella, John Irvin, Trevor Germain, Amanda Shelley, William Duncan, and Kato Nakagawa, the top 10. Paul Swanson runs 11th, Jonathan Zorline, Austin LaPlante, Jessica Shelton, Matt Dixon, Jake Baskinger, Kyle Matthews, Mason Powers, Mason Neal, Seth Cole, Steve Pollard, James Shelley without a front end, Preston Plore, Jeff James, Stephen Pollard III, and Tim Greenwich. The 26 lead lap cars. A lot of these guys back here, though, not going to be in contention anymore tonight. Man, it wasn't this crazy last year. Something with these drivers this year. They feel a lot more comfortable with the track, apparently, and that's causing a lot of these wrecks. They're daring enough to go 4 wide, and it's just not working. At least that's what we've seen so far. We'll have to see if now with like half the cars in this race only, will they be a little bit more mellow now? We'll have to wait and see. Single file restart here for the first time tonight, pretty much. Pace truck pulls off. Field under control, the Camping World Toyota Tundra of Charles Jackson. He has led pretty much every lap tonight, and we are back to racing once again. And I say pretty much, but I mean he didn't lead the beginning. Kyle Collins making a move inside of Eric Powers for second. We'll have to see. There's so many rookies up here at the front of this field. Jackson, Powers, LaPlante, Irvin, Germain's up here. Very few veteran drivers as Ashley LaPlante makes a move inside for second now down the back straightaway. Tom Shelley's actually in this pack and in contention. Too bad he's 2 laps down. Let's see. LaPlante makes him peek to the inside of Jackson's truck. Gotta be careful there, I think. But if these guys can finish, they know that they'll get a good run to start off the season. Plus, this is the win and you're in chase format this year, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. Trevor Germain now inside for second. 3 wide back here. As long as they don't make it 4 wide, they're fine. Amanda Shelley into the middle. John Irvin now makes a beeline for the inside line. Down the back straightaway, Jackson goes up to the outside line, opens the door for Trevor Germain to go inside of him. They have Jay Stella right back there. Jessica Shelton, I guess, doesn't like what she's seeing. She's laying at the back of this pack. Just kind of staying in it. Can Jay Stella do anything? Went winless last season. What it would be to win at Daytona to start off the season. Of course, this is a track where we've seen the outside line be able to work a little bit. Jackson trying to hold it up there right now. Germain's got Jackson cleared down the back straightaway. Germain moves up towards the outside line to try and block it, it looks like. Now back to the inside line down the back straightaway, blocking both lines, giving the momentum to Jackson there as they go into 3. Germain playing the Pied Piper perfectly. Ashley LaPlante to the left rear of Jackson. Got him loose. Nearly turned him. They keep it going straight though. Everyone staying with all 4 wheels pointing forward. Here we go. 6 to go. Stella now to the inside of Germain, it looks like, as they go into 1. You have Irvin, who's driving the truck that won here last season. Amanda Shelley back there. William Duncan, a 3-time winner last season. Look at the run Germain got coming off turn number 2 on that outside line. He and Jackson are going to clear Stella, and Jackson's going to go to the inside of Germain. What a run they got off of turn number 2. As Kyle Collins all over the back bumper of Ashley LaPlante right now. But Jackson didn't have the help. Germain now pulls out in front and clears him. Stella's truck up to speed, but did not have enough. Just had too much spacing there. Kyle Collins able to fall to the inside line. And now Ashley LaPlante with no one to help out there. Pretty much everyone on that inside line as they go down the back straightaway. Collins now peeks out, goes to the inside of Jackson. Stella unsure. He goes to the outside. And John Irvin fills up the hole on the inside line. Tom Shelley dropping out of the pack, I think. Shelton pushing Nakagawa right now. And Germain just loving this, leading up in front at Daytona in his debut. 4 to go here from Daytona. Here comes Kyle Collins. Duncan driving the middle line. Ashley LaPlante up the middle now. Here comes the Best Buy Toyota Tundra. Toyota versus Ford up front. Irvin pulls out now. Things getting action-packed up here at the front. Irvin let Kyle Collins back inside, it looks like. They're going to try and get a run off turn number 4. Paul Swanson, the Canadian's up here. 3 to go. Can anyone do anything with Trevor Germain up front? Collins still trying to clear Jackson as they go through turns 1 and 2. Shelton's now up in this pack. She's decided it's time to go. Can't wait any longer. Jermaine just playing both lines perfectly right now. Shelton actually got put up to the outside there in the back. Austin LaPlante at the tail end of this field right here, of this lead pack. Jackson with a run on the outside. Trying to get to the outside, Trevor Jermaine. I think he's actually there. With 2 to go, we have a battle for the lead, and it's because the outside line got a run. Jermaine trying to block both lines, not able to do it. Kyle Collins to the inside. As they're getting ready to catch lap traffic, Charles Jackson gets hung out to dry. That's Mason Powers in the 3. Oh my gosh, he just like nearly took out the field. Field separate, Collins now. Now it's John Irvin. Could this 13 go to victory lane for the 2nd straight season at Daytona? Both times with a rookie driver. They're going to lead to the white once again. Eric Powers in 2nd. Kato Nakagawa in 3rd. The Japanese import with damage to the right side. Jonathan Zorline into 4th. Here comes Nakagawa. Powers gets put up to the outside. No one to help. Okay, here we go. Down the back straightaway for the final time. John Irvin leads at Daytona. Jonathan Zorline now inside for 2nd. All this way behind Irvin. As unbelievable. 2 different drivers. Same result. Off turn number 4. No one's going to have anything for him. And it's going to be John Irvin, who's going to go to victory lane. The 13 for the 2nd straight season wins at Daytona and wins the Nuka-Cola Quantum 200. Pollard coming to the line. James. But the 13 does it again. John Irvin, though, this time gets the win. And it's Jonathan Zorline in 2nd. What is up with this guy in finishing in the top 5 in his debut? He's done it again. He finished 3rd in his Cup debut. Now he finishes 2nd in his Truck debut. What has he got up his sleeve for his nationwide... Or sorry, I'm going to have to get used to that. For his Hooter Series debut, Ashley LaPlante 3rd, Amanda Shelley 4th, Nakagawa in 5th, Collins, Jermaine, Stella, Swanson, and Eric Powers. The top 10, as only 25 trucks finish on the lead lap. But a great start to the season for all of them. If you're down on the bottom of this, though, probably not the best result for you. But there's always next weekend. Congrats to John Irvin on winning the Nuka-Cola Quantum 200. And again, congrats to Thor Sport Racing, a 2nd straight win at Daytona for truck number 13.